Alright, gonna be showing y'all what you need to make some pho. First thing you're gonna need is the pho packets. These are really cool packets, $1.95 at your Vietnamese store, local Vietnamese store. Rock candy, you can substitute brown sugar, but just get that, it's good stuff. Fish sauce, very important. Hoisin, sriracha. Generally, you need some top round. I'm actually gonna be using a ribeye steak, whole chicken. Some green onions, cilantro, ginger, 2 onions, Vidalia or sweet onions, some limes, chicken bouillon cubes or beef. I'm actually going to be using 3. Some noodles, rice stick noodles, and then fresh beef oxtails. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cook our meat just so it gets all the fats off of it and all the stuff you don't need, all the gunk. So we got our chicken in there. We're going to put our oxtails in there. Let it boil away all the impurities. So we're going to do this for about 7 to 10 minutes. Get in there. Alright, 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so after you've boiled for 7 to 10 minutes, we're going to take this right to the sink and we're going to dump all that water out. That's all your impurities and stuff you don't want. And then we're going to give it a wash. Wash out the impurities. Alright. After we're done with that, we're going to refill our water up. So now after this, we're going to actually be putting it on the stove top and letting our broth set and cook. Alright, now we got this back on the stove filled with water. We're going to bring that back up to temperature. It's actually going to be a low simmer. This is when we're going to simmer it for a long period of time. But before we get that going, we're going to want to we need to cut our onion in half, cut our ginger in half, and we're going to cook this on the stove top. An open flame is the best to get a good char on it. That way it'll get some good flavors in there. Plop that in there. Alright, we're going to let that cook for a bit. Alright, so now that these have cooked on the stovetop for a bit, that's when you're going to smell your aromatics that smell amazing. So we've got a nice char, so we can pop that in the pot. Our ginger. Alright. Done with that for right now. Next we're going to add in our bouillon cubes. I'm using 3. I'm using 2 beef and 1 chicken. Alright, next step is to add a handful of cilantro into the brew and also a piece of rock sugar. I'm going to put the lid on and let that cook. Alright, so let's check on this. This is about 1 hour before we want to start eating this. So it looks good right now. But what we want to do is we want to prepare our spices. So we're going to take our baggie and we're actually going to roast these on the stove top. So we're going to take our spices. This is a little spice bag. And you can buy all these spices individually. What you have is you have star anise. You want about 7 pods of those. You have cinnamon. That's like cinnamon bark. You have coriander. And then you also have fennel seeds and cloves. So you want about the equivalent of that. And we're gonna roast these just to where we start smelling those good aromatics. And once they're nice and toasty, we're gonna put them in our bag and put them in our pot for about an hour before we eat. Ideally, you wanna cook this, it's a long-term brew, so maybe 18 hours, 16 hours. We're going for a short brew today, maybe about 6 hours. Alright, so now I've got all these on the grill top. Looking really good, we don't want to burn them. Got the nice aromatics going. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop them out of here. And we're going to put them into our baggie. Get them ready to go into the big pot. And if you don't have one of these little bags, you can actually use cheesecloth. It works really good. Just tie it together. All into the baggie. Onto the stove top. Alright. We're going to tie this up. Throw this into our big pot. This is what's really going to give it that good flavoring. Alright, so we take our baggie. It goes right into our pot. Goes right in there, and we're going to push it down there. Got that nice, deep, rich broth look. It's looking good. Alright, I'm gonna let that sit for about another hour. Then it's gonna be time to eat. Okay, so I kind of skipped a step. It was done, so you actually take all the meat out, every bit you can, put it in here. Then you want to strain the broth through a strainer into a big pot of some sort. And after you have just the broth in there, put it back into your original pot. Now we just have good broth. And now we're going to season it to our liking. Alright, now we're going to add our salt, a little bit of salt. Alright, I just deboned all the meat. That's all the leftovers. This is the fresh chicken, fresh oxtail. And then there's our broth. I'm going to heat that back up. And then we're going to start our prep for our actual noodles and decide all the toppings. Alright, this is going to be for our garnish dish. We're going to have some cilantro, some green onions, some lime, and then this is actually Thai basil. So we're going to chop all this up and get it ready for our garnish. Alright, now we got our garnish plate. Generally there's bean sprouts on here. I don't really generally like them, so I don't make them. I put them on there. And then we have our toppings for the noodle bowl. So we have green onions and onions. Alright, now we're going to cook some, slice up some meat real thin and cook our noodles. Alright, so now we're going to do our noodles. We've got some water boiling, a little bit of salt in the water. So these are the noodles that are wet, they're ready to go. We basically drop them in, and they don't have to take too long at all. There's other noodles that you can get dry, but you want to soak those noodles first. For about 10 minutes, then put them in the water. Sorry, let me take these out of here. doesn't take long. That's pretty much all you need. Then we're gonna take these and we're gonna strain them. Alright, I'm gonna move those out. Alright, we're straining them. Strain all the water out. Alright, we're gonna put our noodles into our pot. We're gonna take our green onions. Put some green onions in there. Put some of our sweet onions. Put that in there. Alright, then we're gonna put our meats in. Alright, so meat, I've got my chicken. So I'm gonna take some chicken, put that in there. We're also gonna do some oxtail. A little bit of oxtail. Then we're gonna do our very thinly sliced meat. So that way when we pour our broth in there, it will actually cook. Alright, so we're ready to go here. And in our pot, we've got our water that is ready to go. So we're gonna take our broth and spoon it right over and let it cook that meat. Looks very good, very good. Alright, then on the side, we're gonna do some oyster sauce. And some sriracha. Put that on our side. Then you're gonna want to take some of your Thai basil. Put that in there. Some fresh cilantro. Then it's time to eat. Some chopsticks, soup spoon. Ready to go. I better try it. Best bowl ever. That's it. And don't forget your fish squeeze of lime.